This podcast was brought to you by Uncle Geeb Productions. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the Geeb Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is Host Trip Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. You can also become a member of this podcast and get extra podcast content every single month. Make sure to click the link down below in whatever feed you're watching this on or listening and get that membership. We appreciate you guys. Drip. We have an insane episode. We have insane freaking news. We had a random tweet from not Furukawa, I keep saying that, from the guy who's Nintendo guy, and he had said that the Zelda movie is real. They've been working on it for years, and it's happening. We don't know when, we don't know who, we don't know what, how, why, whatever, but we are going to speculate all of that stuff in this episode. That's going to be super fun. But before
I got it all.
Before we get to that portion of the episode, Drip, how you doing, man? What's up?
I'm good, man. It's been a great week. We're getting a Zelda movie, dude. I am stupidly excited about that. As soon as I saw that I lost it, man. I was like, oh my God. Is it real? And then I was like, it was on Twitter. And I'm just going to go ahead and just be honest. There's been several times stuff like that has popped up on Twitter, and I'm like, oh, look at this thing. Oh, it's a fake account.
Yep.
So I was like, it's a fake account. It's got to be a fake account. This is so weird. This is so weird. It's not. It was real.
Yeah.
But I was super excited. I don't know. It's been a good week. Got a video out today. Got some other stuff done. It's been great. Going to see the Marvels tomorrow. Going to watch some reviews after the podcast. I guess after Fortnite too, but I don't know. I'm not seeing it's not looking like it has very good reviews. But I mean, other than that, it's good. How about you? How's your week?
Doing
How are
good.
You doing?
I'm looking here. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just looking at my phone. I'm trying to find the messages you sent me when the Zelda movie dropped. I'm trying because I remember you said something funny. I thought. I don't even remember. I can't find the episodes, but you were to say the least. You were happy about this announcement.
Yeah, of course I was.
So that was great. I'm doing good as well. Week has been fine. I've been actually playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom. I almost made a mistake again. Tears of the Kingdom. I've been enjoying that for my evenings instead of watching YouTube, which is what I usually do. I've been playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom and enjoying that, getting immersed in that. I'm still only 53% finished with the game. All the stuff I've done, like, it just doesn't end. The game, it doesn't end.
Just keeps going. I don't even know where I'm at. I have no idea. I need to jump back in, but I feel bad jumping back into that. I got to finish Mario, but then I also got to finish Spider-Man.
I pace myself with all that stuff. Mario's going to happen as we go. I did play some Mario as well the past few days, but
Spider-Man story is getting done next week. It's happening. I got to.
Probably could finish it. I mean, if it's I'm
about halfway through.
We'll talk about that off stream.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through. I need to get on that and Mario.
For sure. Drip, there's just too much. There's just too much to go over. I think to start, we're going to briefly touch on a couple things here before we get going on the Zelda movie conversation, because obviously that's going to take a bulk of the time right now. But I do want to bring up a little factoid here. We have some announcements here from. I don't know who posted this information. Obviously, it must be from Nintendo themselves.
It is from Nintendo. Yes, they had a investors meeting or one of those things. Yes. Reports, their financial reports they do.
Yes,
quarterly.
So I do have a screenshot from Spawnwave's video earlier this week. Shout out to Spawnwave, and it shows a list of games here that. So a bunch of first-party Nintendo games, and I'm going to highlight a couple interesting things that I found. First, Breath of the Wild is still going. By the way, it's still selling. This is of Q. What's it? Q2 or Q3? I don't know. The last quarter of the business quarter for Nintendo. This is what these numbers come from.
Would have been 3 for them. We're in fourth for them now.
Okay, so Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart,
2?
Animal Crossing.
This is from 2, right?
Who cares? That's not the point. The last
one ends in March.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, Smash, they're all still selling a ton. Not on this list that you guys are looking at. If you're not looking at it, check out the YouTube if you're listening. For detailed information, is the Switch console sales is also going up in places around the world as well. So it just
I did hear
the
that.
Switch is just it's the 6th year, but the stuff is still freaking selling.
That's wild.
Man.
I mean, we know why.
Yes.
They dropped a system seller this summer. I mean, yes, obviously. And then they dropped a system that goes with the system seller.
Yeah.
It's hard not, but I mean, I'm sure it's not just that one. I'm sure it's every Switch. But I mean, how many Tears of the Kingdom copies are we at this point?
So 19.5, and that's up only about almost 1 million from the last update we had, which is about around 18, if you remember correctly. That was like 3 weeks after the game came out. So between that time and now, it's been a few months. It's only had less than 1 million sales, which is kind of low. Weird. But here's the explanation I've heard on the internet as well as my own kind of conjecture. I think that's just because everyone who bought the game after it came out bought the freaking game. Not like that's why the sales were so insanely high to begin with. Yeah. Everybody who was interested bought the freaking game, and the few that didn't, those are the numbers we're seeing now. They're finally getting on the bandwagon, checking out the game. So maybe
they're just now finishing Breath of the Wild. And they're like, okay, now I'm gonna they were on the hype, but they were like, I didn't play Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
I got to finish Breath of the Wild. Then
and that is where a lot of because Breath of the Wild sold more basically. I think it sold just almost the same, comparable. So I think that's a lot to do with people are just interested in Zelda right now.
Yeah, that would make
getting
sense.
Into Breath of the Wild first and then to Tears of the Kingdom. But a future episode to keep in mind, dripping the listeners, we'll be talking about Tears of the Kingdom and game sales. That'll be an episode in the future for sure.
We do have to go back to that. We said we were going to go back to that at some point.
Yeah, and it will happen for sure. Probably maybe not this season. Maybe for next season after the new year. We'll get to that. But we'll see.
I'd like to honestly wait to get back on that after holiday.
Right.
And see what the holiday sales were. See where they're at after that. That's going to be interesting.
That's going to have to happen around March or something, whenever they release the next.
It'll be, the next one should be what? Late January, early February? Because that's their third one, or their fourth quarter starts in January and goes through March 31st, correct?
Sure. I don't know.
I think that's right. So, yeah, we would get another report in January or early February. So we can do it then. But, yeah. That's all very interesting. It's all very interesting stuff.
Something that wasn't on that list strip is Mario Wonder. 4.5 million sales in the first 2 weeks. That's a record for Super Mario titles.
That is wild to me. I feel like that's low. Like when we see, I mean, it's not, I guess.
Overarching?
But when we're looking at the numbers of like Tears of the Kingdom, it sold what?
Well, it was
10 million copies in the first 3 days.
Historic, man. Pokemon and Tears of the Kingdom were historic. You don't get historic stuff.
I know.
Every game, but that's just, even with popular franchises like Mario.
It's Mario. They just had a movie.
Yeah, but you don't. It's historic events only happen once. I don't want to say lifetime, but they happen very sparsely. And in this particular case, we had two very close back to back that kind of skewed everything. Pokemon and Tears of the Kingdom. That just goes to show how amazing those two releases were. And for the sake of this episode, Tears of the Kingdom, how amazing that was for everybody involved. What an amazing time that was and continues to be. And then Pikmin as well. Just a quick shout out to Pikmin. I think it's on its way or already there to be the best selling Pikmin.
I do believe it already is.
So Pikmin 4, it's just Nintendo is absolutely killing it right now, which is crazy because the console is so
year
old.
6.
And
year 6.
Console is so old at this point, especially for a handheld console. It's just ancient. But it's a hybrid, so it's weird. But which makes you want to speculate, for I don't know 5 years in a row that there's a new Switch coming, and apparently Nintendo wants to tell you in year 6 of the Switch that they're inaccurate reports. The last the reports that are going out there are inaccurate. Which actually I want to hear your thoughts about this, Drip. Obviously, I'm referring to the recent. What was the thing that was translated recently? Just a investors thing or what? Or an interview?
It's all from the same. All this comes from the same thing.
Okay.
Everybody was asking, hey, what's up with the Switch 2? This and that. All the rumor. They directly asked them about the rumors, and they said they were inaccurate.
Right.
Whatever the stuff online was inaccurate, but I mean, I call absolute bullshit on that. Absolute bullshit. I would say a lot of it's probably very accurate. There's probably a few little things that people are talking about right now that are off, maybe not quite exactly what's going on, so they can just call it inaccurate, and they can just. But I mean, this is the same company that said there's no new hardware, and like the next day, 2 days later, we got the new 3DS, whatever it is, 3DS XL, whatever. I mean, same company who said that. So, you know, I don't believe Nintendo when they say anything anyway.
That's a fun quote.
I don't technically believe that this movie's actually happening yet. Haven't seen anything.
That's true, but they did acknowledge it, which is enough for me to go off and say it's definitely happening.
Yeah, I know it's happening. I know. But I don't know. The Switch 2 thing.
Quote of the year for you right there.
It's happening,
I don't actually believe anything Nintendo says.
Yeah, quote me on that. I don't believe a damn thing they say. I don't know. We've seen them do this before. That doesn't surprise me that they do it again. And a lot of times what they say is we're just not ready to talk about things like that. Or they find something like this where they can say, oh, that's inaccurate. It doesn't mean they're saying that's not true. They're just saying, that is inaccurate information.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
The news outlets and everybody, and a lot of people on the internet are taking this as an outright denial, which is, that's what's going to get the clicks. But in terms of what actually is happening, he said, quote, inaccurate, which can mean simply that the information that was regarding these quotes that he was asked about was inaccurate. So it could be the smallest of details he's saying inaccurate. He's not necessarily lying. I actually don't think he's lying at all. I think there is probably something that was reported.
No, there's truth in there, yeah.
Yeah, there's something that was probably reported that was inaccurate, but the's a lot that's truthful. That
like, the Breath of the Wild 60 frames per second 4K thing had no loading screens, but it actually did have like a 1 second loading screen. So like, that's totally inaccurate. That's inaccurate. Right. It could be anything like that. Like something so small, it doesn't matter. To think that we're not getting this, coming up on year, the 7th birthday of the Switch.
Yeah.
It's coming next year. Whatever, it doesn't matter what they say at this point. They can lie all they want. They're not gonna cannibalize their own holiday sales, especially right now when we're just getting into the holiday season and you see all those other the new consoles that they're putting out. We've got the Mario Red ones out now. They're re-releasing the Smash Brothers one as an OLED, which is sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I really want to buy that.
Tell me I want those Joy-Cons so bad.
I want those Joy-Cons. I know. And I'm like, you don't need that. You do not need that.
I feel
anyway. We'll see what happens.
And again, before we get to Zelda here, there's one more little thing I want to touch on is that I don't remember who it was. I apologize to the creator who posted this video months back, but they kind of sleuth a little bit around and found that Nintendo is kind of using the Super Famicom button layout, mainly the colors, for
we saw it on
Paper Mario
Thousand Year Door first,
and then I think there was something else too, but I can't recall what that was either. But we now see more evidence that this could be true. That there is some credibility to the Super Nintendo Switch being the actual name and a throwback to the Famicom version, where we have now I wrote this down. I don't know how accurate it's going to be, but Falcom Store page for the Kuro Switch game in that screenshot. I'm not showing anything on screen, but just take me for the word here. It's on the internet. You can look it up.
Taking you for the word.
There's their A was red and then the B was yellow. Maybe I reversed those. I think I reversed those, but
they're colors. That's the weird
colors,
thing.
Right? We're seeing colors on buttons again for Switch titles.
We haven't seen colors on buttons since what?
Not just colors,
GameCube?
but the specific Super Famicom color scheme. It's now,
which would have been the same one for GameCube.
A first party title with Thousand Year Door, and now we're seeing it again with third party stuff for Switch. It's little signs that maybe we're going to see the next system have.
It's the same color. The same colored stuff was GameCube, right? Or no. A was green.
Different for GameCube. GameCube was green and red for A and B. And the other two were was gray. This is Super Famicom specifically. This is
okay. The colored buttons. That is a strange thing. If it's called the Super Switch, I am so down with that.
Yeah, and the creator that I can't remember their name, unfortunately. They pointed out months ago when they found this information, or when they kind of saw the connection, that it's not just like, oh well, maybe it was in the game before and that it's just a remaster, maybe they did something to it. It's too specific, and now we're seeing it in too many places to be just a coincidence. It's still possible it's a coincidence, but I don't know. I think the Super Nintendo Switch is absolutely the name for this thing, which makes me over the moon. I cannot wait to purchase the Super Nintendo Switch. I mean, how freaking cool is that going to be?
I hope. I mean, that's awesome. I don't know how I feel about the colored buttons. Don't know how I feel about that.
I think it's good because I don't like the new trend in gaming where the buttons, you can even look at anything, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation. Xbox still does it somewhat, but not every controller. I just don't like the monotone buttons theme. For a couple reasons. One, what if you're, you can't see very well? If you're somebody like that, you still can play games, still enjoy them, but you have bad vision. Like
the big thing is
you have to remember
who
location.
Can't read, who don't know letters.
I was getting there too. You're right. Children.
Yeah.
The colors make more sense.
Like that's how I'm pretty sure that's how my youngest, when she started playing the Switch, learned what an A and a B and an X and a Y looked like.
Right.
You're like, which one's the B? That one right there.
Learn that.
Okay. But she knows. I mean, obviously she knows now. She's older now, but still, then it was, I think that's how she learned, to be honest. But yeah, it would be a lot easier if they were just colors. Especially for a Nintendo system, it makes sense. It does make sense. I'm not hating on it that much. I don't like the way it looks, though. I don't like the fact that Xbox controllers have the different colors. I just don't like the way it looks.
Yeah.
But, I mean, maybe they'll have an option where you don't have to worry about that.
Small detail.
Maybe it'll be like the
button caps or something like that if you really hate it.
Like the red and blue Switch. Mm-hmm. Maybe that'll be whatever version. It doesn't have to be red and blue. I'm saying like they'll have a version with the colored buttons and then a version that's not colored buttons.
Yeah, kind of like we had the neon colors and the gray color for Joy-Cons. We could have
kind of like that, but maybe more.
But if it is like system-wide UI stuff, it's unlikely that it won't. The first-party stuff won't be colored. I think the first-party stuff probably was colored, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there.
We will.
Drip, today's episode is sponsored by Binbok. Drip, Nintendo first-party accessories are really high quality. You and I both know that. But they can be expensive, and they definitely lack some certain features that other controllers offer out there. That's where Binbok can help you out. Binbok makes Joy-Con and Pro Controller alternatives with features that you want for an affordable price. And I know, Drip, that you've been working with Binbok for quite a while now. You've even had some input in some of their products and feedback. So tell us a little bit about that, Drip.
Yeah, this one especially. This is one they've been working on for a while. It's their I believe it's called, is it the Ultra Pro Controller? I'm pretty sure that's what this is called.
It is the BINBOKPLAY Ultra Pro Controller.
It's awesome. It is awesome. It is one of the coolest it's one of the coolest controllers you can get for the Switch, for sure. Trying to turn it on so you can see the LEDs there. It looks great. It's got every single feature, mostly that a Pro Controller has and more. The buttons, honestly, they're better. The D-pad, better. It's got programmable buttons on the back. It's got programmable buttons on the top that are like mouse buttons. So if you're playing a first-person shooter and you want to change the big long push of the trigger to something that's a little bit more of a click, you can do that very easily. It's got its own motion control. So even if the game doesn't have motion control, this controller has motion control. You can make any game have motion control. It's crazy. And the best part about this one is you would think a controller like that with all those things would be very expensive. $70, $80. It's $55.
Yeah.
It's really affordable. It's got rubber grips. I mean, it's built like a tank. It's a wonderful controller. It's got its own battery pack. It actually also takes battery packs that the Xbox controllers use too.
Right.
So if you have any of those, you got extra batteries for it.
For sure. Guys, you can find the BINBOKPLAY Ultra Pro Controller with the links down below. Make sure to check those links no matter what you're watching or listening to this podcast on. You can also find more products from Binbok at their store down below at binbok.com. That is BINBOK.com. And thanks to Binbok for sponsoring this episode. Drip. Too much exciting stuff. I don't know where to begin, even though I have it all very eloquently written down in detail because I'm a nut. We have finally gotten a Zelda movie confirmation, but I actually have a bit of audio that came out from this announcement. I don't think anybody has heard this audio yet. I might be breaking news right now. We're gonna see here in a second, but here's,
you showed me this earlier.
Shh, it's serious. Here's this audio breaking news, everybody. Here's the audio from Nintendo.
This is Miyamoto. I've been working on the live-action film of The Legend of Zelda for many years now, with Avi Arad-san, who has produced many mega-hit films. This is Miyamoto. I've been working on the live-action film of The Legend of Zelda for many years now, with Avi Arad-san, who has produced many mega-hit films.
Yes, breaking news. Miyamoto on Twitter announces this announcement that what he said. But no,
that was funny because that's exactly what the tweet looked like. It looked like he was running. I'm going to tell everybody. I'm going to tell them all. I'm going to tell them all. That people were chasing. That's what it seemed like. It was such a weird. Everything about that announcement last night was so weird. Like I said earlier in the show, I thought it was fake.
Yeah,
it was such a weird thing because it was like Nintendo of Japan. They did it first, and then it was in Japanese, but then Nintendo of America kind of retweeted it, but I don't know. I don't understand social media. I don't know how it works, but I was very confused about what was going on because there was a lot of people talking about things. All of them said Nintendo. And I'm like, which one is this? What are they talking about? Is this real? Because as I said before, I've been I've been fooled. I've been fooled before. So
you know who does understand social media is John Cartwright. Make sure you guys go follow John at John Coms. His socials right, not right there. It's not on screen. But make sure to follow John Cartwright, formerly of Nintendo Life, currently of Good Vibes Gaming. That was hilarious. I had to share that.
That is very funny. That is very funny.
Shout out to John. So again, too much to go over tonight. But yeah, we got that weird tweet. We got man, I'm so scatterbrained because there's so much to talk about.
We got info in the tweet.
We got info. So we do know who the director and the producer is, and we know that Sony Pictures is involved, which is crazy because Sony, obviously, in their games division, runs PS5, PlayStation stuff going on over there. So that's weird that a kind of competitor of Nintendo is working with them. We know that Nintendo is over 50% funding for the project, so Nintendo is highly invested in this. And obviously, I don't think we said yet, it's live action, not with Illuminations, not animated, live action.
Real people.
Zelda, real people.
But that's what we wanted. That is what we wanted.
That's what I wanted, for sure.
I said I would be okay with an Illumination version of Zelda. I'd be fine with it because I figured that's what we're going to get. And I think another thing to talk about here too, what's very strange.
If it was on the betting stuff, I would have put money on Illuminations for sure.
Me too. Yeah. I mean, because I think that's why I said I'd be okay with it because I'm just kind of like settling into the fact that that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And not only did it not go with a Universal company to do this, they went with Sony, which is a whole nother thing, which is why, and I know there's like PlayStation, Nintendo, that's, we're talking about movies here. This is a completely different area. It's Sony Pictures, which is honestly, it's good and bad. I want to talk about the actors in a little bit, but right now, Sony Pictures is involved. That's great. Okay. That's great. They're going to be doing the worldwide distribution. Before we talk about the producer, I want to talk about the director. The director is Wes Ball.
Wes Ball.
Now, mixed bag here. So some of this stuff I haven't seen, but I know a lot of people really like the Maze Runner stuff.
Okay.
I have not seen any of it, but I hear that it's good. Something I'm very interested in. Very, very, very interested in. Let me get to his IMDb here real quick. Yeah, Maze Runner's his thing. There's a few of those. The thing he's working on right now, if I'm not mistaken, I can't find it here, but the new Planet of the Apes movie that's coming out next year or later this year. I can't remember. They just dropped the first trailer for it like this week or last week. Yeah, last week.
How do you think he fits with Zelda? Do you think he's going to be able to proceed to see the image and let it? Obviously, Nintendo's going to have heavy input, but do you think he's going to be able to I won't say produce. He's not the producer, but for all intents and purposes, produce this product. Direct this product into success.
I mean, I think he's going to be fine. I mean, that's the thing. Like all his stuff it's a very mixed bag. It's a very, very mixed bag. I mean, you got I just don't know. He does a lot of Star Trek stuff. He's done a lot of Star Trek stuff. All the other Star Trek movies.
Star Trek, my favorite series, Star Trek.
Like the 2009, he was involved. I don't think he was the director.
Is that a Star Train movie? Star Trek?
No. I don't know what you're talking about. Either way.
Oh no!
Yeah, this guy, I don't know. He's a question mark. He's a question mark. I'm interested.
But there's
to
a lot
see-
of stuff that he's done that is really good. No, Drew, I mean, a lot of Marvel stuff he's been a part of.
No, not this guy.
This is not this guy. Okay,
the producer.
That's the producer.
Yeah,
That's with
we're
the
gonna
Marvel
get
stuff.
there. We'll get there.
Well, was there
This
not
guy's a
good
question
stuff?
mark.
Ball had some good stuff. I thought.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, I mean, there's some good stuff. I'm looking at his IMDb right now.
Here's the
He's
coolest
won
thing
2
about
awards. What awards has he won? Let's check this out.
You look at that, but I'm going to say this about Ball. I do know that about 13 years ago, our guy Ball, he trying to find the article here for myself. He actually made a tweet and said he could never hope to have a chance to direct a Zelda movie. 13 years ago, he made this tweet. I'm sure it's still up in his feed, but so he's to put some context, this is our time of Avatar and all that success. And he had said, quote, "Since I could never even hope to have a chance to direct it," meaning the Zelda movie, "the next big mocap Avatar-like movie," or not it, let me restart.
You're talking about
The
Avatar is
not
what he is.
Avatar,
Yes.
Yeah. Since I can never hope to have a chance to direct it, the next big mocap Avatar-like movie should be The Legend of Zelda. This was January 29th, 2010. So I think it's really fitting. Obviously, this guy's a big Zelda fan. If he's saying
That's a big
in 2010, he has to be.
That
a big
makes
Zelda
me feel
fan.
better.
I bet that was a big need for Nintendo. That the guy who is directing the thing on set would have to be a Zelda fan to see the vision.
To get it. Yeah, he gets it. That's
So
a big thing.
I think
he gets it.
throw his IMDb out the window. If he's a good professional, which clearly he must be, and if he loves Zelda, so I think he's going to do us well. That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes comes out like next year sometime. So we're going to see what he's got. He's directing that. So
yeah,
we're going to see what he's got. And I mean, that seems to be something that's going to be pretty interesting. Now, the producer, that's the one where I need to look a little bit more into it. And I forget his name and I don't have it pulled up. Can you remind me of his name?
I don't know his name. Anywhere. I've lost his name. I couldn't pronounce it when I saw it. I forget how to spell it. I just knew it was A. His initials were AA. Couldn't tell you. But let's just talk about some of the things the producer has done. I know that he, like I mentioned before incorrectly, the producer has done marvelous stuff.
In the chat right there. Avi
Arad. Avi Arad.
Okay. Some of this stuff is like, dude, he was involved in like the Spider-Verse movies, which I love. He was involved in some of the old Spider-Man movies too. Some of the old Marvel movies. What, Iron Man 1, I think?
Like one of my favorite movies of all time is that movie. Within context. Like, I love that movie.
It's good. Hang on.
We have no time to hang, Drew. We're doing a podcast live.
No, we're good. We're fine. Don't worry about it. This is fine. I thought I had this pulled up and I don't, but here we go. I got him now. All right. Now,
please don't leave.
This is what I wanted to see.
This is not my fault.
Right.
This is
some of the stuff he's been involved with, a ton. But there's one in particular, and I kind of want to. God, there's so many. Into the Spider-Verse.
Spit it out, Drip.
Venom. Into the Spider-Verse. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Morbius. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Amazing. Legend of Zelda, they've already got on there. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. I like that. I know a lot of people didn't. Amazing Spider-Man. Those are the Andrew Garfield ones.
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk, not great. Iron Man, that's good. Spider-Man 3, not his fault. Definitely not his fault. Spider-Man 2, like the Spider-Man 2, one of the best Spider-Man movie ever. There's a lot of bad ones, though. There's a lot of bad ones. I mean, he was involved in the Blade movies, too. Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Spider-Man No Way Home as well. But there's one. Those three are important. This guy's a mixed bag, too, because we're going to move on. Those are important, and there's one more that's very important. And Also, one of the reasons why I think Tom Holland is going to actually be cast as Link. This guy was also involved with Uncharted.
I didn't see
Uncharted. Uncharted is not only a Sony video game property, it's a Sony game that they made a movie about that Tom Holland stars in.
Okay.
Tom Holland is also involved in a ton of other Sony projects like Spider-Man. We know that. And he's in with Sony right now. All this stuff being connected, it makes me think like
that's interesting.
They might put Tom Holland in this role. I don't think he's the best for the role, though.
Well, we're going to get to that in a little bit. I will say this. I think he fits a couple bills here. He does. He fits a look. Now, Link is so subjective, even though he's a character that we see in lots of games. It's subjective because there's many depictions of Link as a boy, as a man, as an older looking, like the Breath of the Wild one. They say he's trying to pass him off 17. That's bullcrap. He's like 21, 22. You know what I mean? That's what he looks to me. But again, subjective, right? It's subjective. They purposely make Link subjective and not specifically a particular look because that's what Nintendo wants. They want you to see Link and see yourself, not Link.
Okay.
Although,
that's fair.
Maybe Breath of the Wild less so, but still, that's traditionally what Link is. And I feel like with Tom Holland, I think he fits the bill. He's slender. He can always bulk up a little bit if he needs to for like if you're trying to get him as Breath of the Wild Link, a little bit stocky, bulky. He's short but not stocky, so they can work on the stock. But he's a fantastic actor with amazing abilities, which would go well. And here's another thing. We'll get to whether Link's talking or not. We'll get to that. But I think if there's going to be one actor that I trust most, who I personally know well, not a lot, but I do know Tom Holland. I've seen enough of his stuff. He's a good enough actor that I think if there was a role where you need a lead role where you don't say a damn word, I think he could do it the best. I think his abilities, his talents would be able to portray the role well enough without saying anything. If that's what it ends up being, and Link doesn't say anything, like I think it might be. I think Tom Holland could do it perfectly because he's such a good actor. He could make you feel those emotions and really kind of bring you along the journey without saying anything.
He's gonna talk. Let's get into that because we put a poll up. We did, and I don't know the results of the poll. I know you checked it out. We put a poll up. Basically, will Link talk? Will Link not speak? Geeb, what do we got?
So we had 92 votes in that poll. Really appreciate you guys for checking that out. We just posted a poll yesterday, so that's awesome.
That is awesome. Thank
59% of our voters said absolutely he's going to talk. But that means 41% said no way. So it's pretty split as of now.
That's a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be. But again, we've had this conversation when we had our theoretical what if there is a Zelda movie conversation. I just feel like this is a Nintendo movie, and you know where their head's at. They want everybody to be able to enjoy this. They want it to be accessible to everybody. And I feel like if they make Link not talk, people who aren't big Zelda fans are going to be like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, why isn't this guy talking?
Here's why I think it's not as important for him to speak as you think. You have to trust the director and the producer and the writers and the actor and everyone involved that whatever choice they're going to make is going to be the right one. So if they choose, I think
that's the wrong choice.
If they choose to, let me finish. If they choose, because I have a little bit extensive thing to say here, a little soliloquy.
Right.
If they choose to go with Link doesn't speak, or if he does speak, it's like the games where it's very vague and everything. That you have to trust that whatever decision they make is because they know they can pull it off. I think they're going to be able to pull off a no talking Link, and here's how. Again, it goes with like. It goes from the actor to the producer and director, writers, but also goes down to like the cameramen and all makeup and set. I think they can pull this off with all that, with Tom Holland at the center of it. If it ends up being him, they can do it to where with music, with sound, with facial expression, with emotion, with body language, all of it. I think it's very not easy, but it's very possible to have it not speak. And here's the thing. If he doesn't not speaking, he's going to say something. Mark my words, he will say something. He's going to say something and something.
Yeah.
And maybe a one-liner, maybe multiple times throughout the movie. Maybe they sprinkle in a little bit. But there's no way he's going to be yapping away. There's no world where Link is like the lead character is talking.
Dude, they were
the
old
most.
cartoons, and he talked in those.
They also
It's happened before.
You know what else happened before with Nintendo movies and content visually? The old Mario movie, Mario Bros. That was a disaster.
And that was, I mean,
don't
yes.
Do not start with they did in the past. Don't start with that because they immediately get
that's
shut
fine,
down.
But they
with
did.
what they did with Mario.
I mean, they did. He's talked.
Zelda. That shit sucked, dude. That was terrible
he
content.
talks in the games. We just don't. They don't let us hear it. Because if he goes, even in Tears of the Kingdom, when he goes up to somebody, he's like, does his little arm things. He does the explanation. We don't need to hear that though. And you, like you said earlier, it's because Link is. We're supposed to be into the game. Like it's not a person. It's us. You're right about that. But I don't think they're going to go that way with the movie. I think it's going to be Link. I think they're going to make him Link, not you're in a game and you can be, you can be the hero. I think they're going to make him Link. I think he's going to have a personality. I mean, I'm interested to see if they go that way, what type of personality they give him. If he is like the Breath of the Wild hard ass, or if he's like the kid who has to learn to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think that he can't be Link without speaking? Like, you really think that he can't do that? Whoever is the actor?
Yeah, I think it would be terrible if he didn't speak, to be honest. Yeah, I think it would be ridiculous. At this point, and
Drip.
we're dealing with Nintendo.
Hey, Drip.
And you're talking about kids who want to go see this movie and being enjoyed by everyone.
Because kids hate characters that don't speak, right?
Dude, listen.
They wouldn't get
You're talking about a live-action movie.
Kids wouldn't get a live-action TV show or movie where one of the main characters doesn't say a word, right?
No, they totally would. They would. I'm not saying that that's true.
You're only saying that because I'm about to prove you wrong if you were to say it.
I know. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying that they wouldn't.
Hold on, Drip.
But I'm saying
let me just slap your butt. Let me just slap your butt. Grogu puts out
all kinds of shit.
He puts out so much emotion without saying a damn word.
Okay, that's fine. That's great. Cool. He's a fucking baby.
He's also a
grown-ass man we're talking about.
He's also not real. And they're able to do it with a puppet that doesn't talk. And you trying to tell me that an actor as talented as Tom Holland couldn't portray
first of all,
emotion?
He's not the main character. Not the main character.
Debatable.
There are other... He's not... Okay, well... you're right. Is debatable, but he's not technically the main character.
I am Groot.
I see what you're saying. I mean, I think it's possible.
Groot.
Listen, I think it's possible. I don't think Nintendo's going to take that type of risk with this being the first Zelda live act. I don't think they're going to take that type of risk.
You look at it like a risk, and I look at it as art and being artistic. And I think they're going to be able to pull off artistic.
That's great for indie films and this and that. There's so much money. This cannot fail.
You know how it could fail? Is if he's like yapping away, Drippy. I think you're going to piss off a lot of fans if Link is just yapping away the whole movie.
Who's going to be mad at it?
I would
Are
be.
you going to be mad if he's talking?
Yeah.
Really?
Not that if he's talking, if he's like Mr. Yappy and he's like, as if in the games he never said a word of dialogue in his life. Like he's never had a text box, dude, besides ugh or yeah. Like, and all of a sudden you're gonna have him yap away,
dude. Mario said 4 fucking words.
But he said words, and the games there weren't much dialogue in. Listen,
he says
point taken.
No.
There's lots of things Mario says.
And what? Like 3 other words.
There's lots of things.
Full dialogue in that movie.
There's lots of full sentences that Mario. That's very different.
Full sentences?
Yeah.
I've never heard Mario say a full sentence.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. That's a full sentence.
Is it? I feel like that's an incomplete sentence.
You're
lying.
You're sitting here lying out of your ass if you think that it's the same thing, Mario and Link. It's not the same thing.
I'm not, actually.
No, it's not the same
How
thing.
can you tell me that it's not?
Because
Link says, ha, nah, and Mario says, what? Yahoo!
They're not real
it's not
words.
The same thing, really?
They're not real words. Anytime there is real words, there's no dialogue. They just skip over the dialogue completely because you're not supposed to know what he says. You, the player, know what it is. He's only saying
that's fine.
What Link goes like this with the hand gesture and talking to the NPCs.
I want to go back to something.
Link is saying what you already, as the player, knows. So there's no reason to put text bubbles there.
I'm going to go back to something. And in however many years it takes to prove this, I'm going to be right again. Because at first, you hated Chris Pratt. After the movie came out, and we had this same conversation, like, you were so mad about
different. What does Chris Pratt and the voice actor have to do with?
Just wait. Let me finish. You were mad about. You didn't like it. I said it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. After you saw the movie, what did you say? It's fine. Totally fine. So
yeah, but I don't feel as strong.
In however many years, this is exactly what's gonna happen again. Mark my words. Somebody clip that. Yeah. We'll look at it in 3 to 5 years, and you're gonna be like, it is fine. It's good. He talked. It's
if
good.
Or I keep saying Tom Holland as if he's chosen.
Yeah, we don't know it's Tom Holland.
If the person who chose Link just starts talking and talking and talking as if the games never had Link talk before, it's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me a lot. But here, it's going to bother me. I'm not saying that he can't say any dialogue. I think that it's important that Link has some dialogue. I think the way they go with Link, the way that they choose to go about him, is he doesn't speak much. When he does speak, it's to the point and brief and introverted, but it's not like any other main character who is
kind of quiet. Yeah,
quiet, introverted, very soft-spoken.
I could see them going that way.
Yeah, that would be the way.
That makes
and I
sense.
would consider that the same thing as not talking. I don't think he's going to say, there's no world where he says 0, right? He's going to say something. And
I think he's going
to talk for exactly like 5% of the movie, just not 50
Who's going to play
100.
him, though, Geeb? Who's going to play him?
Oh, my God, Drip. Well, I've already said that 1,000 times who I think should and might be the candidate. I know you got a way better list for not just Link, but all of the characters.
Link, I don't have a full list. I just think I found the guy. It's the kid from. Have you seen the movie Dune?
No, I know people watched it. I just didn't.
Okay, I'm sending you his picture right now. His name's Timothée Chalamet. Hang on.
Oh, I know.
This is the guy.
I know Timothée Chalamet.
That's the the guy. That's Link. I'm sending you pictures right now. We're gonna put them up on screen so you guys can see.
I'm waiting. I'm seeing.
Where are we supposed to do? Admin room.
Drip purposely didn't send me these photos so I could be surprised of the actors.
Okay, here is 2 Links and 2 of old Timmy. Dude, he's Link. He's a perfect Link. He is perfect. Like, his facial structure looks like Link. I know we'd have to do something with the hair, probably. This kid's Link. He can play the quiet.
He's kind of got the elf ears going. No offense, Timothée Chalamet. I'm sure every
dude,
girl wants to see his
him.
pants, but
look at him. He's Link.
He does look a little bit like Link. I will admit that, especially with this photo in particular. He's got a very strong jawline. His ears, you can make the hair work. He's got these eyes. Not the eye color matters. I don't know. He fits more than I would have thought. And he also is an A-list actor. I believe he's
doing Dune right now.
He's about to be doing Willy Wonka. He's about to be Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah, he's fucking Willy Wonka. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think that's a solid choice. I think if they could go with him or Tom Holland, I don't think either. I'm not on team Tom Holland. I don't give a fuck, right? But I think Tom Holland or Timothée Chalamet could do a good job. I think if they're going for accuracy of Link, maybe Timothée Chalamet works better. But yeah, I'm biased. I am biased. I think Tom Holland is a better actor though. So I think Tom Holland would do a better job.
See, I think I disagree. I think he would play the part better. You should watch Dune. Watch Dune.
Okay, right now. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye. No, check it out though. It's on. Dune is on Netflix. Check it out. It's
sure.
It's very good. I watched it the other night again. It's really good. The next one I want to go to. This one. I really hope you agree with me on this one.
Just say it. What is it? Use your words.
Ganondorf.
Okay. Ganon is going to be played by who?
I'm going to send it
forget
to
about the pictures. If this is what's going to be, forget about the pictures. You got to just say
I sent it. Joe, what's his name? Manganiello?
Sure. I don't know. You're asking me. This is yours.
I sent you pictures. Okay. I sent this one. Wait. Oh, God. I got a comparison to the next one. You're going to laugh your ass off. When you see this guy, I don't know. I don't know what else he's in. He was in True Blood back in the day on HBO. He's been in other stuff. He was somebody in the DC EU, or was supposed to be. He was in Magic Mike. That was a big one. But I want to send you this picture, and I want you to.
He's got 2 different eye colors. or at least this character does that we're looking at. One's brown.
I
one's
just
blue.
feel like he looks like a Ganondorf, and this is the one. Just look at these two. You can put those up for the people because, oh God, is it perfect? This is good. The smiling Ganondorf picture. I found a picture of him that he's the guy. His face looks like
this is the same guy.
Nose.
This is the same guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Same guy. Here's like a regular picture of him that you can put up. There's like a regular picture of him.
Okay. Pictures not important.
Probably the most accurate
Pictures
there.
are not important. Just go about the words.
They kind of are important because some people want to see it. They're important. Okay, the next
I'm going
one.
to show them.
This one.
Do you know how do you know how podcasts work? Pictures are secondary.
Yeah, we do it live.
Words are
I'm
first.
aware. Thank you. I'm aware.
Good.
You cater to our audio listeners. I just cater to our video listeners. That's all. It's fine. All right, next one. Sophia Turner from Game of Thrones. She's Zelda. Easy. Very easy.
Okay.
If you know who she is, you know. If you know, you know. She just looks like Zelda. She looks like Zelda.
Now, you said in the pre-show the Twilight Princess Zelda. Is that correct?
I did. Yeah, I did send you the ones to compare were Twilight Princess Zelda. I just feel like that's the one she looks like the most. But I feel like she could pull off Zelda easily. Now, I had a bunch of other names, and I can go through some of these really fast. She's the one though. Florence Pugh. She's the new Black Widow. If you've seen any of that new stuff.
I didn't know there was new Black Widow.
It's her
Breaking
sister,
news.
yeah. I think she could do it.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. And then
Emma Watson for Zelda.
Emma Watson for Zelda. I think she might be too old now. But I think a weird thing, too, that I did want to kind of bring up, Anya Taylor-Joy, who does the voice of Princess Peach.
Yeah.
She is, like, perfect for Zelda.
She could do it.
Absolutely perfect.
She could do it.
She could do it.
I think that'd be weird.
Yeah,
but
it would be that she's both the
it.
Nintendo princesses. It'd be very strange.
She's a princess after all.
I do want to go over a few other ones for Ganon, just because.
She's not more a princess than my fiance.
Listen, and the first ones I'm saying here, I know are probably not it, but you got to at least give them a chance because they're big, tough guy Hollywood actors. The Rock, probably not. Don't want to see that. Jason Momoa might be able to pull that off. A Ganondorf?
No, absolutely not. No offense to Jason Momoa. I don't think he's got the chops.
Okay, and then
I know he's like a top class actor. It's not personal. I just don't think
he fits that role. That's fine. Okay, so before we get to the one that I know you like for Ganon, I had one more that I wanted you to think about. Hugh Jackman. He's played Wolverine. He's a little older now.
He's a spectacular actor.
Still in shape.
He's a spectacular
great
actor.
actor.
I think he has the chops for it. I think they could make him look more like Ganon if they wanted to. I don't think he has the presence. I think the person who plays Ganon has to be literally jacked, but also not because Hugh Jackman, correct me if I'm wrong, he's like under 6 foot. He's not a large person, right?
I'm not 100% sure about that, to tell you the truth.
Like in Wolverine, it works because the character is not necessarily a giant, but Ganon is like bigger than life. He is a huge human. And yeah, Hugh Jackman's got lots of muscles, but I don't know if he's got the body frame for Ganon. But do you know someone who I do think is better than all the guys you said here?
Yes, I do. And I agree with you.
I forget his real. What's his real name? I just Geralt's.
You are, if I'm not mistaken, you're talking about Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill, I think, fits every box. He checks every box for Ganon.
I think he would be great. Honestly,
he doesn't. I think the only one that is a little bit lacking is his look, but I do think they can work with that. Like his face structure. Other than that, he's got the body, he's got the frame, he's got the muscles, he's got the chops. I think Henry Cavill would be an amazing name to throw on there. He's also British, so he's got that going. He could really get that going. So
yeah, I mean, he could do it. I think my guy's a little closer, just already there. But that doesn't really matter now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that matters nothing. You know, it probably won't be him.
This is what happens when your fiance watches your podcast. This is the kind of things that's going to be said. I'll leave that for the audio or the video people only. Sorry.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, so I had a few. Just some random Zelda characters that I thought would be fun to throw in here. Beetle. Everybody knows Beetle, right?
Beetle. Yeah,
Your neighborhood local salesman.
That's right.
Taika Waititi.
He's Mr. Trenchcoat. You pull up the Beetle.
It's
he
Taika
opens a
Waititi,
trench coat.
dude.
Yes, his junk is hanging out, but he does have lots of cool products that he wants to sell to you.
Yeah, it's Taika Waititi. And if you don't know who that is, he is the director of Thor Ragnarok. He also plays.
Oh, that guy.
He plays Korg.
Yeah. Yes.
He plays Korg. He's the rock guy.
He'd be
That
good.
is Beetle.
Personality, great. I don't think
Perfect.
Beetle. We talked about this in the pre-show. I don't think he's that.
He doesn't look like him, but
Yeah,
I feel like he could play Beetle very, very well. I think he's actually perfect for the role.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think it's very important for Beetle specifically to look like it because they can make him look like Beetle in terms of with makeup and stuff. I don't think because what is even Beetle? As long as there's slender frame, dude, I think they can pull it off.
Yeah, and I think he could. I think he'd kill it. And the other one, just really quickly, and this is just funny. Tingle. I thought of two people.
Jack Black.
Not Jack Black. No.
Let's get Bowser and Peach in this movie. Let's go.
Jonah Hill. I thought could play Tingle.
That's
well.
not bad. That's not bad.
And also, maybe if we're going real funny, we could do Zach Galifianakis.
I don't think I love Zach Galifianakis. I don't think he fits the role at all.
Really? I think either one. I think either one, whichever way you want to go with it, could be good. And then if you want to get really like, if this is a very serious and scary Zelda movie, you could just make him like, Steve Buscemi could play him, but not like funny Steve Buscemi, like Steve Buscemi from like Boardwalk Empire, where he's like real scary.
Steve Buscemi would be funny if it was 20 years ago. I think he's a little past.
Well, I mean, have you seen Boardwalk Empire?
No, he's a great actor. I'm not saying about that. I'm saying,
I don't think he's the guy. Just saying.
Tingle has gives youthful vibes to me, and Steve Buscemi is the oldest cockroach I've ever seen. But
I'm saying,
dude,
you'd have to
is
change
amazing,
the character a lot. Yeah, he'd be scary. He wouldn't be fun. Tingle, he'd be scary. Which Tingle is kind of scary.
A little bit, yeah.
So,
I mean,
a little bit scary.
A little bit.
That's really all I got. I mean, I did say one more for Zelda. If it's Tom Holland, we got to get Zendaya in there as Zelda, right?
I mean, how funny would it be if Tom Holland and Zendaya?
I mean, I would actually be totally fine with that. I would be 100% fine with that.
I'm down with that.
It's not going to happen. I'm interested to see who they pick, though. Very interested.
I am as well. I think people are going to have a problem with Zendaya for one reason or another, but I wouldn't. I think that would be perfect. That's a good. They already got the chemistry. I think that would be wonderful to put that out there for those two. But again, your list is good. Your list is very good. It's very, very good. Good job with the list.
Thank you.
Here's something that's a little bit more important, though.
Okay.
What is the tone / the story gonna be of this movie? Like, and when I say tone, is it gonna be a dark Zelda game or movie, I should say, or a lighter, more lighthearted one? Is it gonna be a drama, or is it gonna be a comedy, or is it gonna be both? Maybe it could be both.
It's gonna.
Is it gonna feature both, like Twilight Princess Link, or is it gonna feature like Tears of the Kingdom Link, or I think most likely a Wind Waker Link? He's got the most kind of character of all the Links.
I think that's the most least likely thing they will do, honestly.
I agree. Now that we know it's too live action.
It's too far out. It's way too far out of just a regular Zelda story with the boats and the.
I think
it's just too far out.
If you're asking me, I think the simple answer is definitely Tears of the Kingdom. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Why would they choose an old game that didn't sell as well as this current game that's selling crazy?
Because the story's not quite there, and they're making a movie.
Yeah, but
that's why. That's the only reason why. I think you're right because that is what people know. Yeah.
But then, Drip, we go from the universe Link versus the story Link. They could use the universe Tears of the Kingdom Link, or with like a brand new story that has never been told before. Right?
Yeah.
I think that might be the way they go, say it's going to be a remake story of the old games? They're probably going to bring me a brand new story of Zelda we never heard before.
I would say
using the current Link that we know.
Most likely, I would say you're right. It's probably not going to be if it has stuff from things we know in games. I think it's just going to be like cherry picked pieces to make a brand new story that they want to tell. I think if they go with an actual story, though, I feel like, especially since it's like the first movie, like if they're going to do it that way and take stories and do it like that, I think it's Ocarina of Time.
That's a really good story. It's a really, really good story.
And I think even just the parts of like, you got young Link and old Link and young Zelda and old Zelda, but I don't know if they do it quite as like you don't stay young as long as you do in the game. You know what I mean?
And don't forget, like the game really, really dramatized it. It's only a 7-year difference, right? It's the game makes it look like he's 4 and then 20. And it's really more like he's like 10 and then 17.
Yeah, the 7-year difference is.
Yeah.
Well,
it could be
we're
more
talking about 64 graphics.
We could be talking about like 13 years old or 20 years old in terms of like visually what we see on screen, if that's what they go for. Like,
yeah.
But like a teenager and then an adult.
I just feel like if they're going to go with a story like that, that's probably the one. It's almost got to be.
Here's my issue, Drip. I want more Tears of the Kingdom. I want more of this story. I want more in this universe. I want
Tears of the Kingdom. This. Because I heard this this morning.
Hold on. One more thing. And here's why. Because my favorite Ganon is the Tears of the Kingdom Ganon. I think he's the
Ganon.
I love Scottish Ganon.
But we can bring him into anything.
Yeah. Tears of the Kingdom Ganon has to be in this movie. I don't care what, how, why. It's got to be Tears of the Kingdom Ganon with the same energy, with the same evilness, with the same I need Geralt, man. I need my Geralt. His name once again has left my mind.
Henry Cavill.
I need Henry Cavill to be Ganon, and my life will be complete.
Oh, another one I had on this list. I didn't even see this. Especially for that Ganon, dude, Drax the Destroyer, Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista is
massive.
A goofball.
I know. Oh, he's done some other. He's in Dune too. He's done some serious stuff.
Yeah,
I've
seen him. I forget what movie it was, but I've seen him in a serious role.
I mean, yeah, he's Drax. He's a goofball in that, but he does other things. Yeah, he does other things. Not my choice. Doesn't matter. I do think though. I think it's going to be an original story. Honestly, I think it almost has to be.
I agree. I think it has to be.
Because unless they really just want to do this, I mean, you could totally go straight up Zelda multiverse and start it out with Ocarina of Time and show, him going and saving that timeline and leaving. And then you could take that timeline and do the Wind Waker story of we didn't have a hero. That's why it flooded. And then you could go with that, and then he's the hero that went and saved them. So they didn't, you know what I mean? Like you could do all that if you wanted to. You could really build out the multiverse like that if you wanted to. I don't know. I don't know if that's where they're gonna go because of again the same thing I said earlier. Everybody's got to be able to understand this. It's got to be accessible to lots of people, young children. Old people, whoever. It's got to be accessible to everybody. I don't know if that's quite where they want to go. I would love that.
When are we seeing this, Drip?
It's a good question. I mean, considering what we got last night, it doesn't look like they have much done. No. I'm just guessing. But
I think on paper, like literally like written down, probably on a computer, but you know what I mean? Written down, I think they have a lot of what they want in the movie. I think that's what all the years took. The years took of like, if we're gonna do this, what are we gonna do? They finally have Nintendo finally has like an agreement of like, this is what we're gonna do. Now we just gotta do it, and I think that's what we're at the stage right now is gonna go do it. We gotta go work with Sony. Done. Now we gotta get the cast. That's next. And we got.
What do you think? 3 years.
How long does it take? I don't know. Have a reference. How long does it take to make a movie? Once you start
filming a movie, once you have everything in place, if you've got a script, you've got all the actors,
editing,
once you get it all planned out, the actual filming doesn't take long at all.
Filming and editing, that's a 2-year process?
I don't even know, man. Nowadays, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure most, decent budget movies, they only film 6 to 8 weeks. I don't think the filming process is that long.
Yeah, but editing is a lot longer, especially nowadays.
Oh,
while
yeah.
while the filming process might be short, the editing has gotten
all the
longer.
visual effects and stuff. Yeah. And I mean, you got like, now, I mean, and that's the thing. Where are we going to go with this? Like, holy shit, dude. Like, as far as visual effects go, like, what are we going to see? Like, how big is this going to be? What if it is Breath of the Wild? And what if we get like,
you are getting too ahead of yourself. This is going to be for the
Gorons.
This is going to
Gorons.
Shh. This is going to be members podcast stuff at the end of the month. This is what we're going to talk about. We're going to go so hard.
Dorito, dude. Oh
Shut
my
the
God.
hell up. We're going to go so hard in the members podcast this month. Make sure you guys are a member so you can see that episode when that drops.
Please become a member. We're going to talk way more about this.
The last Friday of every month. But Drip, you still haven't answered the question when. I need to know when this is happening. I'm going to say 2024. I think this is a 1 year thing.
Next year?
Next year. The end of next year. Holiday 2024.
No way. 2025.
I'm being optimistic.
Summer 2025.
I just want it then, and I'm being optimistic.
I want it tomorrow.
Yeah.
2025
and
earliest.
here's why I think that mostly.
Maybe holiday 2025 actually.
I think that mostly because if it's Nintendo, if they weren't ready to really get the ball rolling quickly, then they would not have put this out there. I think they're ready to going with this. I realistically 2 years. I think this is a 2025 thing. But like it's possible they could get this out by a year. How long did it take for the Mario movie? Like they were
different. It's animation, man. That's totally different. That's like
yes, but
you
it's
literally
not,
got to build everything.
Yeah, but
like
it was
this, you're
my point
filming
was it was
and I know
quick.
there's a lot of stuff.
It was a quick turnaround.
Well, not really, because they were working on it. They had been working on it before we even knew about it for so long.
And you're making my point is that they just told us in John Cartwright told us that they've been working on this for a really long time.
I wonder how. Yeah, they said,
and they
years
wouldn't tell us until they were ready and this thing was close. And I do think that's the same thing with this. I think they're more ready with this than we know than we currently.
What was the lead up from the Mario movie?
It wasn't
like
long.
when they first told us about it.
I don't know, but I think it was within a year.
Like a year?
I think so.
Maybe a little bit over.
Mm-hmm. We'll say.
You're right. I'll give you that.
We'll say 16 months. Something like that.
We see Nintendo do that all the time. Like if they're not ready to, especially after Metroid Prime 4 and all that bullshit, if they're not ready to talk about something, they do not talk about it. And when they do,
like
6 months for a game is usually like the big lead up.
I think we're filming in 6 months.
Okay,
and then I think we get it a year after that. I'm thinking 18 months from now. I think we can see this movie. So
summer 2025.
Yeah, it's possible.
I like it. I'm with you. I think we agree on that. Summer 2025.
Something like that. I want 2024. I want holiday 2024. That would be an amazing Christmas
Mario.
movie to go see. Christmas 2024. Going to see fucking Zelda movie would be insane. Because I want that. But I think
I would love that too. I just don't think
maybe fall, summertime. Either way, we'll talk about this more in the members podcast at the end of the month. But you guys in the stream, make sure to stick around. We're gonna be doing the after shows we always do. We appreciate you guys. If you haven't liked the stream, make sure to do that. If you are listening on the audio platform or watching us on YouTube for the archive, we're gonna sign off for now. But make sure to tune in for next week, as next week is another podcast, another week. Maybe a guest. We're trying to work out a guest right now. We're having a little bit of trouble getting them on time-wise. Got to work out everything like that. But we're working on it. But as far as the next episode, we're for sure going to have it next week. So make sure to tune in for that every Thursday at 8 p.m. Totally, because it's right now it's Thursday. But anyway, guys, stick around for the stream.
Definitely Thursday.
After show. But the rest of you guys, we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.